Hey guys, how's it going? Hello, 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 hello. Ah, got some mints. Well, they're barely mints. They're like cotton candy flavored mints. I mean, they're more like candy I could have than mint. But my sugar free, and my wife found them at like the dollar store or something, and they're really good. They taste just like cotton candy. It's cool because you get like the cotton candy flavor without like the cotton candy dry mouth and all that nasty sugar. Kind of cool. Tastes nice though. Not much I know. Oh, I didn't. What a fail. Didn't do it. There you go. I did it. I did it, everyone. I did it. I got it. Alright. So, that a few of you that are here, welcome. How are you? Other thing, too. So I just been I kind of like, I was trying to think of like what I can call Tuesdays. I like tiresome Tuesdays. I don't like tragic Thursdays anymore. They'll change that to something else too. It sounds dumb. Tiresome Tuesdays. Maybe it'll be tedious Thursdays. I don't know. Something like that. Something about ambivalence and monotony. It's usually what I vibe with. Hey, Void, what's up? How's it going? Remember, guys, ooh, the subscribers are super down on the Twitch. Nobody, remember, guys, you get that Amazon Prime sub. Use it. That's like $2.50 you can give me that would otherwise go to no one anyway. And for the YouTube peeps, there's always super chats and shit like that. But honestly, don't give me any money through YouTube. It's ass. Just, you're better off just sending it and joining my Patreon or some shit. Anyway, so yeah, I've been seeing a lot of news recently. Really good. Oh, that's awesome, Sri. And what I've been seeing on the news has been just mostly like, elections coming up, and there's people complaining about like immigration, and people complaining about, their states and rights, and I'm just seeing a lot of stuff pop up. My wife's telling me things, and normally I would keep my pulse on it pretty closely. I'll probably go back into it again at some point, but I kind of lost track of a lot of geopolitical things for like the last 6 months. Kind of lost interest. Not because like I don't care, just because I don't know, it was stress I couldn't handle during that time. But I think I might be able to handle it again pretty soon here. We'll see. I don't know. It just varies. But it's a little cold in here, so I wear these like cut off finger gloves so I can still type and my hands don't get so cold. But oh yeah, it's an absolute cesspool. It's gonna be unavoidable pretty soon. I mean, every time, every 4 years, it's just a goddamn mess, isn't it? You have to start worrying about how badly people are gonna behave and what kind of nonsense they're gonna get up to this time. But anyway, that's not the point of today. I wanted to talk about a little bit today. This is like I said, on Tuesdays, I sort of want to just talk about topics that are in my head, or have been kind of like, I don't know, moving around in there I've been getting brain worms about. And that's like ethnicity and nationality has been something that's been going through my mind, and it's just so to me it's just so weird. Like, I understand it intellectually, obviously. I understand why these sort of tribalistic things happen, but it's just so strange to me. Like, I can't imagine giving a shit about my ethnicity. And even like people that I know in my local life, they seem to care about these things to some degree or another. Cultural stuff in relation to ethnicity, and national stuff in relation to either countries of birth or even being American. In my case, I am. That kind of stuff just, like, I don't know. It goes right over my head every time. And it has since I was a kid. And it's never changed. It's never changed, not once. It's not like I've gotten older and now, like, I don't know, I've become more this or that. Like, I don't, it's just attachments to stuff like that have just never been very useful to me. But what has been useful lately for me is I've been getting, and like I said, remember, guys, if you watch me, you're essentially watching what is at this point, and don't get weird when I say this, because if you've watched my content, you know what I'm saying and what I'm not saying. But in many ways, I'm somebody that's essentially a recovering schizoid. Slowly, very slowly, but nonetheless, it seems to be working. And so I've been attaching myself more to the things that I can emotionally connect to, and I've sort of given up on the versions of things that the world often provides in the way that it provides them. Right? I use my own kind of subjective experience to reinterpret it in a way that makes sense to my more schizo-spectrum side of things. That's where I'm on the side of things. Not to alienate any autists out there, but it's basically the same message, right? And things like ethnicity I have never been able to find like a waypoint for that stuff. I can probably think of some like cultural uniqueness that is fun to perceive. Like, I like that there's different cultures, because there's just groups of people producing different types of things. And different types of things, the more things there are, the better, because I like things. I like there to be more and lots of things. Lots of things is good. But that's about it, right? Why is it so loud? I lowered it. It's really loud. This sounds loud to me. Anyway, there we go. We're back. Finding things you actually care about is the way out, in my opinion. But it can also be hard to find something you enjoy at all sometimes. Oh yeah, for sure. But like, I'm finding my attachments, right? Like something that's really important to me as like an emotional attachment is suffering. Suffering's really important to me. So, more so like positive feelings from productive suffering and negative feelings from unproductive suffering. I have emotional attachments to those concepts, and then, to make those concepts a little more practical, a little more earthly, that I'm attached to. I'm becoming more attached to. I think this is probably the closest I'm ever going to get. And it's not like a complete attachment. It's not like my primary attachment, I would say, when it comes to how I approach this. But I'm starting to have a small attachment. This is so weird. Like an attachment to No, because this sounds weird because I don't have that kind of. I'm starting to feel like empathy for our species. I think that's a good way to put it. It definitely would extend beyond our species in every case for me. Um, just being human alone is not like the limitations to my kind of metacognition. Oh, I fell off? What do you mean? I'm not on anymore? Wait, did the stream stop? No, it didn't. Oh. Oh, it's just shadow. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, it's weird, right? It's weird. But it's like for like the parts of it that make sense to me, not all of it. Like it's more about the amount of uncontrollable variables that the average human has to just be subject to. And when I see human beings actually do things to mitigate those uncontrollable variables for each other, that's that kind of, I guess, that sort of hope I get sometimes, a pipe dream. And I don't know, I can't really attach it to like ethnicity or even nationality. Like I don't feel like, oh, a stronger camaraderie with like my fellow Americans or like my fellow Latinos, because I would be considered Latino. It's my family. Both my parents are from Central America, Central American origin, Costa Rica. If I was in Costa Rica, I wouldn't feel at home. I wouldn't feel more connected to the land and its peoples. Just as if I don't feel that connected to the lands and the peoples of my own country right now. I'm sort of more. I feel a little more connected. What I think what I'm feeling, starting to feel connected to, is like just the suffering of people, and through that, some aspect of people. Like I feel like some of, like I think I'm starting to be able to sort of compartmentalize better, like so that some of the so the more kind of dual thinking I might have had is like the anger. The anger is I feel like I can focus it better now. But anyway, like on the specific things. I feel like I'm integrating more context in realms that I had trouble because of various triggers and such. It's interesting. It's interesting. So it's funny because like I feel like my empathy for other people is sort of like it's working from the top down instead of the bottom up. Like how most people like they have to expand. Like they have to go from thinking about their family to their community to their state to their country, and then via some channels like that people connect through culture and ethnicity or whatever. Like like that stuff feels so far away from me. Like that stuff feels just like just out of completely out of reach. I'm just so it's so alien to me to like have those feelings. Um, so because of my schizo ass thinking, like I've always been kind of in the stratosphere in sort of the meta of things, and I've sort of been like having to not retract like a controlled retraction to see the layers below where my mind usually like just floats around. And then seeing like little connective tissue between like these abstract concepts I've always been emotionally connected to, and then the people that exhibit them and the people that write about them and create them and blah blah blah. I don't know. I've been going through a lot. I've been going through some stuff. Internally, my internal world's been like, wowzers. I'm always thought about it from top down to like to see what is ultimately my place in the universe. I don't know. Well, I don't think I have a place in the universe. I don't think anybody does, but I don't think our species has any particular place in the universe, but the place that we create for ourselves. Whatever place we decide it is. And then within that, I decide where my place is. And I think I've been coming to terms with what my place is. And it's interesting. It's interesting. If there is a place, but you know what I mean. What my place not is, but what I decided my place to be. What I decided my place should be. I used to feel like that, Shadow. That slows down. That was like my I would say that was like my from like 18 to like 24, 25. It was like I would read a new book, I would like find out this, I would find out that, I would read about this, I discover that, and it would just be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I would make connections and I'd be like, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I know what you mean. Once you hit a like a once like those revelations or whatever, the feeling kind of starts slowing down, but it's kind of good because you start piecing things together and sort of realizing what pieces you want to spend time on and what pieces just fundamentally are of little interest to you. Nah, it's not that. It's not about smart. You saying you're not smart is some of the stupidest shit you say, Shadow. But by the way, for anybody watching the YouTube, there's a Twitch stream, so I'll answer to both chats. So, but if anybody has thoughts on what I'm saying, and I'm rambling, I know I'm rambling. That's what I do. I'm a rambling man. You know, I'm just stop it, Void. I don't like hearing people that are reasonable, and I've heard speak before that are reasonable. Just call them so stupid. I know stupid people. I know stupid people. I mean stupid. But now I got caught up in thinking, like, what would I qualify as someone stupid? I mean, to me, someone is stupid that doesn't learn anything from their experiences at all and willingly just ignores the damage they cause from the mistakes they make in favor of gratification and things like that. That's stupid. That's a stupid person. That's what I would say is stupid. And everyone can have stupid moments. I know I've had my share. But it's hard to be a stupid person. It's hard to be a stupid person. It's easy to make stupid decisions. But to be like a stupid person, oh man, you're just living it. That's doubling down on those decisions. Learning nothing. That's stupid. Oh, little one's going to bed. Give me 1 second, folks. Oh, where is she? I don't know. Oh, she's bye-bye. She's not here. There she is. Yeah.
When I was gonna look inside of the hole, you see me.
Yes, I did. You sneaky. Alright, give me a kiss. Alright, good night.
I did it. Oh, hug.
Oh, hug. Of course, hug.
I did it.
Alright, good night, love. Get some rest, okay?
No.
Get out of here.
No.
That's too slow.
I can't.
Girl, come on. Get it together. Get in.
Anyway. Back. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just telling my little one good night. But yeah, like, so it, I guess the reason this topic's been bouncing around my head, especially like nationality, it's just because I know things are just gonna get weird again because of the election here in the States, and for some reason the American election seems to get everybody riled up all over the fucking world, except for, like, countries that are, peoples that are probably lucky enough to be so isolated that they have no idea any of this is happening. I don't know. But, and so that's all you're gonna hear, and it's gonna invade your TVs and your computers and your phones. And I'm not saying it's a, what's funny is that I don't really have a problem. I was never that person that was like, oh, my Saturday morning cartoons are being interrupted by, like, footage of an earthquake. Like, I never really been much of that kid. I've always been kind of just interested in, like, what the fuck was that? What the hell is... Oh, police chase? Well, why did those happen? Before I really understood. How would someone drive away so fast? Why would somebody endanger people's lives just to get away from people that are trying to arrest them for something they did? It's just such a dumb little kid. And so, like, what I guess what I'm trying to say is it, like, geopolitics and all that stuff, like it being, like, on the news more and being more trending and popular, and people are talking about it during, like, election cycles and things like that. I'm not saying that's necessarily, like, a bad thing, right? People becoming more involved in their state and local and federal governments, state, whatever. People getting involved, people talking about these things, it's not a bad thing. It's not a problem at all. The problem I have is that these types of things, like nationalistic, sometimes ethnic fervor and pride, it only, like, well, that stuff's different, but point is learning more about these things and talking more about these things. It only flares up because of, like, things like outrage and fear, and, like, it's just annoying that it takes something. It takes, like, a bunch of propaganda, and it takes a bunch of in-your-face commercials, and it takes celebrities going to war with each other on social media platforms for people to go, oh, well, there's all this stuff happening outside of my own life that might have a definitive impact on myself, if not my children, and definitely my children's children. And it's just, I wish it was always like that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I wish most people were that interested in things outside of their immediate vicinity, social vicinity, more often. even if it was on just like a national level, because most people aren't going to think past that. That's as far as like their sort of metacognitive empathy will usually go. It's usually like nationality or ideology. Yeah, that's the popular one too. It can spread out empathy for others with similar ideologies, then dehumanize others with differing, not contrary ones. And that's another thing that's annoying, right? When you have things like an election cycle coming up, all the worst parts of these identities flare up, and none of the good parts, like all that, just kind of disappears. Well, that's what some people just only learn based on whim of like whatever social events or social connections they have locally or even via the internet. That's just so odd to me. Like just no longer wanting to learn anything. I'd get so bored. I like learning new things or about new things, especially when it comes to the realm of art, music, and storytelling. I love learning about new things that have been created, made manifest. You know, I don't think I'm never gonna stop doing that as long as I have cognitive function. I can't. I can't imagine basically like settling down and just being like, oh, I have the things I like, and I'm just gonna stick to the things I like, and just being like that. It's so odd to me. When there's just so much all the time. It's so odd, like just rewatching the same movies, playing the same games, reading the same books over and over and over. Especially once you've gotten everything you like. Revisiting, there's nothing wrong with revisiting things. I'm currently doing that right now. I'm doing that with the Mega Man Legacy collections because they had those on Twitch, Steam really cheap recently. Had a little Capcom Mega Man thing, and I picked a bunch of Mega Man games up because they're really cheap. And somebody out there gave me a Steam gift card, so I took advantage of that. Well, they didn't give me a Steam gift card, but they gave me some cash for Steam. And so yeah, I'm playing through the second Mega Man Legacy collection. There's a little bit of nostalgia there, but kind of what's interesting about going back and seeing things that you haven't seen in a long time, or especially like played in over like 15 years or even like 10 years or whatever, is your perspective has shifted. You know, a couple of paradigm shifts have occurred in your mind, and so sometimes you can like interpret or see the very thing that you enjoyed prior in a different way. And I don't know, you run the risk of it seeming worse or not as good, which that's why I think that's sort of the problem, right? And that's something I like to think about sometimes too when it comes to things like that. I go, okay, so if I'm going to replay these games, am I going back? Am I playing them because I want to re-experience the nostalgia? I want to recapture the feeling. I might have done that in the past, but like, it doesn't really work, does it? So then I think, okay, so why do I want to play these things again? Because I want to know how I'd experience it now. Not about getting or reliving the excitement of when I originally saw it. It's a different instantiation of a similar experience. That's interesting to me. Went off on a bender there. See, is anybody in here so we can talk? No, probably not. I don't think so. Nobody's in here yet. If anybody wants to jump in and have a chat on my ramblings about everything I've mentioned so far, you're more than welcome to do so. What is this? Why isn't it showing the actual thing? It always does this stuff to me. I am cursed, folks. Cursed, I tell you. Cursed. Oh, there. It's back. For whatever reason. Yeah, if anybody's interested in jumping on, you can. I'd like to talk on this or anything else. I don't really care. Tuesdays can be kind of whatever. It's Tiresome Tuesdays here with Schizoid Angst. So if chat has questions about all the topics I cover, if chat has questions about videos I've done or content I've put up, I have some plans with I'm gonna be meeting up again with that one person I already did a video with, the PDA Mama Bear. I was talking to them earlier. We want to do something on parenting and being neurodivergent, so that'll be an interesting topic. I've also, interestingly, there's a young person that wants to interview me because of a project or something that they're doing. So they have some kind of project that they're working on, and they want to interview me for it. So I agreed. And then I asked them if I could upload, conversation they want to have with me about the subjects I know about, and they said yes. So that'll eventually be up, whatever that is. Apparently, it's a younger autistic person that is interested in some of the subject matters that I cover. So that'll be interesting. That'll be cool. Hoping I can get a few people back that I talked to before. I really want to talk to Melissa again. If you saw the video regarding literature and autistic psychology, check it out. It's on the YouTube. It's really, really good, really interesting. Double empathy experimentation type conversation. I think all that stuff's incredibly relevant since there's a lot of schizoids that are autistic, or people with schizoid personality disorder that are autistic, or at least were diagnosed autistic as kids. It's pretty common. I hear it all the time. Look at the introduction page on the server. You'll get a lot of ASD popping up in there. One second here. Trying to see what this is doing. Yeah, it's working out. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I'd like some feedback, guys. There's more people on YouTube right now than Twitch even, but I'd like some feedback on your own experiences with ethnicity, or seeing other people connect to their ethnicity or nationality, and how that makes you feel. Do you feel like they do? Does it feel foreign to you? Can you connect to aspects of it that maybe other people don't? Maybe you have an emotional connection to the history of your, group, but not necessarily the modern peoples. I don't know. I'm curious what sort of concepts or ideas in regard to those types of things can you attach yourself to, to any of my schizoid or a lot of my neurodivergent listeners. I'm curious to what it is you experience. So the cool thing about YouTube is you can leave comments. So on the VODs on YouTube, you can leave a comment if you watch this as a VOD, because I know a lot of people do. Please leave a comment. I would like to hear what your thoughts are regarding all this. On Twitch, well, you're gonna have to just put it in chat if you're listening now. Or, if you have thoughts, you can always DM me a thought, and maybe I'll just, during a stream, you can DM me a thought during an actual stream if you want me to, say what you're talking about or engage with what you're saying, but you don't want me to, you don't want to put it in chat. That's something I don't mind. I'm okay with that. I know you guys like to be as unnoticed as possible. Some days I wish I can go back to being unversed. But I have work to do. I have much work to do. There is much work to be done. I'll just say, Shadow, I'm Caucasian, only met one blood grandparent at a young age who had already passed. I essentially have no connection to a culture save for the global internet community. But do you think you would have? That's the question. Like, do you think if, like, you would have had a stronger, like, say your family was of, like, Irish or something descent, or, you know, Germanic or whatever, and, like, you actually had family members from Europe or history or something like that, and then, you know, you might have heard stories or eaten foods that were national in nature, foreign national in nature, or something. Do you think that really would have, like, it would have been changed? Would it have been different? I mean, you grew up American. Do you feel very American? Do you feel a sense of pride when, you know, the president of the United States says, "My fellow Americans"? Do you feel like you're included in that conversation? Interesting. Yeah, maybe I would have too. Who knows? Some way. But it just never happened for me. It's just something that was just never in the books for me, or never in the cards. Right. I tried it a few times. I tried to, like, feel some, like, national pride or something like a few times in my past. I tried to be like, okay, this is important, right? But then I realized that I didn't have it. What I had was a fascination and interest and a respect for certain institutions that the country I inhabit supposedly represents, right? The abstract concepts and notions. It's oftentimes pretending to represent. I like those things, even if they're oftentimes fictitious. But nonetheless, things like Constitution in this country, much of it I very much appreciate exists. The Charter itself, the words in it. Now, beyond this abstract concept and idea that it exists as, well, that's a different story, right? I know my history. We don't exactly live up to it very well. But I don't see it as, like, I also don't understand people that, like, find identity through their hatred of their own ethnicity or country. Like, I hear people sometimes just, like, get really, like, angry and just talk about how much they hate, you know, if they're American, they hate America, they hate being American, they hate stuff. It's like, what is it you actually hate there? Like, what is it you're actually hating? Like, what, can you actually define what you're hating? Is what you're hating really that? Or is it just another piece? Could it be? Could it be? I don't know. I think I've been getting, like, it's kind of weird. Because I've become a bit more in tune with, like, my own understanding of what my wants, needs, preoccupations, emotional connections are over the last. Uh, it's been getting really potent over the last year. Well, not this year, but last year. Just a lot of stuff. Um, I've noticed that, like, the type of person I am actually, like, underneath much of my sort of the cold hard exterior that I presented for most of my life, or the kind of ambivalent exterior. I'm very much a very much like kind of philosophically inclined person that's into just like metaphysical concepts um and just I don't know, like like the maybe the unconscious shame or discomfort that I had for those types of things that I'm sometimes like optimistic about are it's sort of like dissipating. I guess it's melting away. Like when I would get hopeful about something, I would beat myself up over it. Or hopeful about people, anyone. I'd beat myself up for it. Call myself a fool, an idiot. Been had. Again, you've been had again. It's happened before. You've constantly been had. And like it's one thing that's really interesting is that like I've had experiences in the last few months that I think would have caused that would have caused me to like for those defenses to trigger, and they simply didn't. They simply did not. And that's let me explore parts of myself that would have otherwise been either dismissed or I would have had an aversion to. Now, don't get me wrong. Right? Even if I, like, say, in the course of the next year or so, overcame even more things, right? And even if, like, say, I reached a point where somebody would no longer diagnose me as having schizoid personality disorder. They probably would, though, based on the DSM. Right? I'm always going to be a depressed motherfucker. That's never going to stop. I'm used to that, though. The thymic. It's my diagnosis. The thymic. That's pretty normal. I just don't like the severe crashes of depression where you get, like, psychotically depressed. Like, and you want to go, backflip and stuff. That kind of stuff is no bueno, especially as a father. You don't like that. You don't want to have those kinds of thoughts. Bad, big bads. And but I feel like even if like a year or longer went by, and I don't know, maybe the DSM or things have been changed, or I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Point is, like, even if like if they couldn't, like, a psychologist could no longer say, well, all these kind of negative feelings you had toward people and connection, all this sort of stuff, like, oh, you're not feeling that way anymore. I think they would like, especially if I'm just speaking my mind all the time, they'd probably be like, oh, we're gonna switch you over from schizoid to, like, border schizotypal or something. you know that's kind of how I see it. I'm always gonna be like, I feel like beneath all the portions that I would consider ego dystonic and a part of the how I define the personality disorder itself, right? Not by separating the portions that I don't consider to be a disorder, something else entirely. The parts that actually hurt me. I would still remain, I think, a very much schizo-spectrum, highly introverted person. Introverted by conventional standard. I think by schizoid standard, I'm pretty extroverted because I enjoy conversation. Now, do I want a lot of people to be intimate and close to me? Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't ever want that. But do I like having a few friends? Yes. Do I like having connections of varying degrees? And that each one has its place? And that none of them have to be all that close, and some of them can be close, and that's okay, and everything has its little kind of connective dot there. It's fine. I'm starting to grow. I'm growing okay with that. There are going to be some people that are very close to me, near me, and I think most of them are going to just remain on the internet, like far away from me. And I don't personally have the sense of urgency to like have to see them in real life. I wouldn't have anything against it, right? But I wouldn't. At least now, I don't think I would have anything against it. But that would be very few. Very few. Very few people that I've grown fond of over the last few years that I would be comfortable enough to be like in person around. Um, and I think some of those people know who they are. But you know, as far like, and I just kind of find it funny. Like the part I find really amusing is that the most potent friendships I've ever been able to create have been with people that I've never met in real life, and nor will I probably ever meet. Maybe I will. I don't know. But point is, like, there's a possibility that I might not. Those paths might never cross. I'm okay with that. It's not like a necessary thing. Like I said, it's nothing I would decline. But in many ways, I mean, depends on the conditions, my state of mind, obviously, economic boundaries. Those always exist. They're always fun, right? But I think you might get my point there. You might get my point. Were I to overcome stuff like, you know, many aspects of my ambivalence, or especially anhedonia stuff, and were I to overcome my inability to connect to others in the ways that I see fit completely, I'd still be utterly unattached and disconnected from ethnicity and nationality. I don't think that's part of my personality disorder. I think that's just part of who I am. My own neurodivergent experience. My schizo brain just ain't vibing with much of the stuff that people get tribalistic about. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it's funny too, because I talk to some of the more academically inclined autist people that I talk to. They kind of feel the same way. They don't think like me, but they're kind of just like, why can't just people just work together and get things done? Like, why can't solutions just be found? This is dumb. Why do they care about that they're in the same baseball team, or, you know what I mean? Like, not literal, but you know, like in the same, they're the same part of the city, they're the same gang. Wow, why do these things matter to humans? Why are they so preoccupied with this? It just inhibits our ability to like grow and create. If human beings wanted to like band together under like a single banner, it would just be humans. And even then, that's a little too limited for me, especially if we interact with that life outside of our own. Then I just extend it to sentience, because there's other, you know, if like, I don't know, dolphins started like creating their own tech and like communicating with humans and saying that, you know, they want their dolphins, the dolphins in captivity set free. We are not, you know, your slaves. And like or something like something happened like that, like I would be absolutely all for the dolphins. Like just be like, whoa, yeah, cool, let's work with dolphins now. I'd go like, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be advocating for like internet communication with dolphin people or dolphins, and I'd be like friends online with dolphins, just learning about their interests and culture. And I just wouldn't bat an eye. I just wouldn't bat an eye. I wouldn't care that they're dolphins. Stupid. I'll never understand stuff like that. I don't. But I can understand why that would be so difficult for the average human. So I guess the best hope I can have for humanity is to unify under being human at best. But then even when that happens, you get the Imperium of Man. Mm, that that's a whole different story, right? For the 40K fans. But hey, at least they really band together when they need to. There's a planet-wide, planet-scale invasion of Tyranids. They'll do it. Humans are so weird. Like it just was it Reagan that said it? I think it was Reagan that said something about like there was like a UFO invasion or whatever, like that would essentially destroy any kind of animosity between the Soviets and America, because like we'd have like they'd have to unify under a single threat. And it's just fun. It's just funny. Like it's so strange to me that that's what it takes. That part is so just like I just go, why does it take that? Why does it take that? And now I think I understand what it is. It's literally just metacognition. People cannot metacognate outside of specific sort of boundaries. It's really, really difficult for them to think outside of their community. I mean, they have trouble thinking outside their family. And then beyond that, maybe community. Then maybe nationality, ethnicity. But and then if you're lucky, certain elements of it they can universalize, at least among humans. Like, not being racist or something. That's like a form of metacognition that extends beyond a layer of many layers. Why it takes an entire civil rights movement to make what I'm sure, like, because I think about like the autists and the schizos that existed. Um, even say like you know uh, when something like slavery was still going on in the States. I imagine there was like neurodivergent people back then that were like, what the fuck is wrong with all the humans in my world? Like, what the fuck is wrong with all these people? Oh, wait, no, they'd probably be too busy in an asylum. Or they would be masking and start um, mimicking things that would help them survive that they didn't believe in. I forgot. They'd probably be doing some of that. But were they to be like an author that was masking, they would probably be writing commentary or making commentary about the absurdity of certain decision making. Right? They probably would have been. They probably would have taken like the the route or the activist route of the time that was reasonable to have, and then secretly kept their like more radical ideas about humanity to themselves, or they would just become like misanthropes. It's just funny to think about, like, that even during those times there was probably people that are near that region going, why is everything moving so slow when it comes to this stuff? Why? Is it so slow? Dude, I used to get in trouble all the time in elementary school. And eventually I gave up because I didn't want to hear it anymore. But elementary school, I like at a certain point, I just didn't want to do the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. And it wasn't because like I hated America. I wasn't like, I didn't get raised or indoctrinated to like, it was more like I don't like my question would not, the question that would not get answered to me as a child is because I was doing it just automatically, a Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And at a certain point, I was just like, what am I actually pledging? Like, once I understood what the word swearing and allegiance and a flag, what a flag represents, that's when I started going, like, what am I pledging my allegiance to right now exactly? And when I would ask my teachers, they would either get offended or they wouldn't really have an answer, or they would give me an answer that was unsatisfactory. So then I thought, well, I don't want to pledge my allegiance to something that you don't even understand. Like, I don't even understand why you're pledging allegiance, and you can't even explain to me what it is that we're pledging allegiance to. I don't want to do it anymore because you're not explaining it to me. And I need it explained to me so that if you give me a good enough answer, maybe I will decide to pledge my allegiance to it. But right now, you're not really giving me much of an answer, are you? Like, I didn't like going along with stuff that didn't make sense to me. So yeah, I would stop, or if they would make me because I would get in trouble, I would like purposely like put away one finger, because then in my little kid schizo head I was like, well, if I put away one finger, I'm not really doing it. So that'd be my like way of rebelling against this thing that I was confused about, and they wouldn't notice. So I'd just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll say or I would say different words. I would put them in hand, and I would say nonsense words. I would say like, I pledge of allegiance to spaghetti, or like I would just say things that I liked. I pledge of allegiance to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Yeah, you ask too many questions, kid. You're making me uncomfortable. You're making me uncomfortable, kid. Just put your hand over your chest and just do the thing. Just do the thing. Yeah, I know. That's what it felt like to me. It was just a lot of that. It was like, for me, that was also church. That was just a lot of shit. That just seemed like, oh, this is just what we do, right? It's like that nationality part. It's like, oh, we're all Americans. This is why we do this. I'm like, what does it mean to be American? And be like, well, it means that you really care about, the people of your country. I'm like, but why would I care about them because they're in my country? And they'd be like, then that's when they look at me like, what is wrong with you, kid? Like, obviously, you have to care about the people that are in your own country. Duh. What are you, fucking stupid, kid? Because then in my head would be like, but why would I care about the people in my country more than I would care about the people in other countries? And then, and obviously there's a practical reasons for why you would do that, because there's an argument there. But my little kid head would just be like, no one's telling me, and the answers they gave me didn't make sense. I just think it's so odd that there's so much of what makes neurotypical people like connect to each other, that I don't, it's just so it's unconscious, or just kind of um like a state of it being just given. It's just natural, instinctual, or intuitive, sorry, not instinctual, but intuitive, that it just becomes a you get to a point where it's just, they're just not even asking why why they do anything they do, because they never have to. It's just all intuitive. I think that's a problem. A lot of neurodivergent people don't. It's not intuitive. So what do? We ask questions. Because none of it is intuitive. None of it makes too much sense. You're just sitting around going like, "Oh, this shit makes sense." Somebody give me some answers, please. And everyone's just giving you answers that ain't working or just getting mad at you. And, for many of us, especially when we end up with the whole schizoid adaptations, what is the answer? The answer is to just shut the fuck up. Keep to yourself. Because ain't nobody listening to your questions anymore. And what's the point of asking them if no one's giving you any answers anyway? And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not like some, like, I don't believe in borders, globalism. Oh, that has its own fucking shit show fest. And people think globalism, people that consider themselves globalists, they think they're going to get Star Trek The Next Generation. It's not what you're getting. It's fucking silly. That's silly. That's like baby shit. That's like little baby beliefs. Little baby goo goo gaga beliefs. Little goo goo gaga babies. Think that, like, human ingenuity and empathy is going to just overcome all. I'm not saying that it can't, but not with this, not like the way things are set up right now. Not with this lack of metacognition in the human mind, human culture. Not with the lack of that being taught and expanded upon. Ain't no way. It's not like 13, The Next Generation. Oh no. It's not like 13. Issue Unit, The Next Generation. Yeah, man. That's the truth. Do you think it's a highly permeable identity? No, I don't think it's a highly permeable identity. I think it's just because um just the wiring's definitely different. But it's just I think when your identity can adapt to conditions mentally fairly quickly, your ability to reason past things that you can immediately see as just hindrances is probably a lot more fine-tuned. I think that's I don't think that, like, my identity is so, like, oh no, I'm just so boundaryless that, like, I'm just like, anything can change it. No. If anything, I've more recently been able to really make more concrete what it is I am about and who I am. And I'm finding the things that I will not shift on. I will not I will remain solid as a rock because I am I've done enough thinking and I've had enough years under my belt of just constant pondering like a goddamn wizard that I'm really, really, really certain about certain things that I believe and I feel. And more recently, those certain things have become solidified in a lot of major ways. Just caveats. There's always room for improvement on that very thing, but oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know what I'm about. I couldn't even say that like 5 years ago. But I know now. Anyway, what we got here? Okay, guys. All right, well, there's a few of you here, so I'm gonna say some stuff. Please, there's something called a Schizoid, right? I'm gonna go ahead and dump that link in the chat. But there's the Schizoid, and the Schizoid is essentially a support group that me and Joanna, and she is a certified Gestalt coach. If you don't know about Gestalt therapy, look it up. But she's a certified Gestalt coach. And then there's me, who's a certified fucking nothing. But you know me. This is what I know. Um, Me and her work together in a group with up to usually 7, 8 people, sometimes less, depending on how many seats we fill. We usually fill the seats though, like every single one. Um, and Where is it? Why can't I find it? So I'm trying to post it like an idiot, but of course, like I'm always just sort of floating in goddamn space half the time that I don't have anything fucking ready. There we go. Here, bust this link on here for you guys. So if this is something you're interested in, please check it out. At least look at the website. Check out the website. If it's beyond your price range, maybe next time or something. I wish it was like free, but no one subsidizes this work. Nobody gives a shit except for the people that are dealing with it. Maybe the family members of those people, they knew what they were dealing with. But yeah, if there's something you want to try out, me and Joanne have been doing these groups for a while. We've gotten increasingly better at this, and it's becoming more and more intuitive on how it is that we approach a lot of schizoid dilemmas and questions, and just sort of allows you to have these really honest communications with a group of people that are dealing with a similar problem. And if you're the type of person that can just sit there and listen to things, and you're not you're the type that likes to take in a lot of context, a lot of information, and listen to what somebody's saying that's having an experience that's similar to your own, and you're not there to like tell them what to do or strip other people's autonomy, because you're very much focused on your autonomy being goddamn so important that it sometimes fucks up your life. Yeah, these are the kind of people that you want to be in the group with, because those are the kind of people that are generally going to be in the group. They're usually autonomy is all, and I'm ambivalent to the majority of things, and I'm disassociated in this way or another as a schizoid. Very commonplace. So those are usually the kind of peeps that end up showing up here. So if you're interested, it's right there. It's a lot cheaper than most coaching support programs that are of certain types out there. I'll tell you that right now. Go look them up. Go see how fucking expensive all that shit is. It's ridiculous. I'm not looking to get rich. I'm just looking to get by. If all that's not interesting to you, please support me on Patreon. Any donations, I've had people send me $5. I've had people send me $100 in the past, and all that stuff is really, really appreciated. Trust me, right now, my family is just my income, and I am looking for avenues right now. I'm experimenting with some avenues so that I can get some of the nonprofit organization things that I want to get going this year. My goal this year is to get something going for the nonprofit that I'm creating. First, I need to get some money in so that I can make it. I made it, but I need to make it tax exempt. But that's going to cost me like, I don't know, $500 or $600 usually. So, which I don't have, but that's one goal. It's a goal I would like to eventually meet. So I'm looking into places. People got one lead. We'll see. One lead that's been pretty interesting. We'll see. Got a few others. We'll see about those. But yeah, Patreon, PayPal, that's just really good. And if you are going to give me any kind of bits or subscriptions, do it on Twitch. Don't do it here. Don't do it on YouTube. They take too big a cut and they pay shitty. Like the way the payments go is just ass, absolute ass. Yeah, I'd rather you just join my Patreon and then like if you just want to do it once, just I don't do $5 and just cancel the whole fucking thing, whatever you want. Anyway, all right, guys. Oh, you have to work together and else. Oh shit, Withers. Okay, we'll talk later. That's wild. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. All right, we'll talk later. And Serene, absolutely. By the way, for anybody that's listening, if you want to help, obviously you don't have money or anything like that, the best way you can help is subscribe, like, and just spread the links around. You know what you could do, guys? Like that would be really fucking helpful. Drop links to some of my videos or a live stream you thought was particularly good. Just put them in the Reddit, the Schizoid Reddit. If I put it, they get mad, and they tell me no self advertising. But if you guys say, oh, I think it's good, I'm going to tell the other schizoids on the Schizoid Reddit that it's good, or this was good, something. You guys are more than welcome to do that. You guys are more than welcome to do that. That helps out. That's the way you can help me. And it won't cost you a dime. It's just retweet me. If you have some social media platform where you have a few people that follow you, dump it on there. Whatever the fuck works. All that stuff helps, guys. I really appreciate it. All right. Well, as usual, when day is dark, always remember happy day. And I feel like I should be playing like I have time for, like a little song or something. What do I feel like playing? Oh, I haven't played that one in a really long time. The Happy Day song. I'm going to play that. It's been a while. Oh, that's a good one. All right. Enjoy the next 5 minutes. Because my streams never get monetized because I play songs. And I'm okay with that. I don't care. All right. Later, guys.